Well, good morning. Chris Popper here in Bangor. I'm joined by Coach Mark Shields, the head football coach of the MDI Trojans down in Bar Harbor. Coach, you've just come off the field after day two morning of two-a-days. Yesterday I was down there in Bar Harbor. Um, it was a little rough yesterday morning, to say the least. But today was a better day.
Yeah, so yesterday morning, we start practice at 6 a.m. and our first practice is we start out with our warm up, and then we get into our conditioning. And um, some of us had a hard time just getting through the warm up.
Some of us had a hard time being on the field on time.
Yeah, yes. So that was addressed by Coach Byrne. Uh,
And might I say that the Bar Harbor Fire Police Department does not need a bullhorn. If you were woken yesterday at about 6:07 to the sounds of "You will be on time," um, we know where that was coming from.
Yeah. Yep. So Coach Byrne played for me back in the day. And he's a ex-Marine or always a Marine, I suppose.
Right? Semper
Um,
Fi, yes.
yeah, oh yeah. So he's hardcore, and yeah, it was interesting because we're on the field and all of a sudden it's 6:01, 6:02, and he keeps looking at me and Coach, where are they? Where are they? And they rolled in, I don't know, maybe 6:05-ish.
Well,
Uh,
it was my understanding that they were all outside the gym and they were looking at their watches and they thought they could run from the gym up to the practice field in maybe 2 minutes. And they overestimated their ability.
yeah, you could say that. Yeah. So, needless to say, they were late. So Coach Byrne, he did address that immediately. Um, and we got through our warm up, and then we started our stations. And if you're not familiar with our stations, there are four stations. Each coach is at a station. One is like ropes, one is jumping bags, one was a bear crawl by Coach Mossing, and then one is running the hill. And so the kids will be at each station for about 2 minutes or so, and then they rotate to the
Longest two
next.
minutes of their life.
Yep, absolutely. And so they will go through the stations twice. So essentially, they're doing 8 stations. And after the eighth, they get to the middle of the field and they kind of rah rah, and then they break down. And then I point to each coach at the station. And if the coach gives a thumbs up, then that means that coach feels like we're working hard enough. If the coach gives a thumbs down, then we have to rotate to one more station. I think we rotated maybe two or three more times,
Ugh.
but we did get through it. And then last night's practice, we didn't do stations. We do stations once a day. We did a perfect pursuit drill, which is a lot of running, but the kids did much better with that. This morning we were in the weight room, but this afternoon we're back doing stations. So we'll see how we do.
Um, this is, the first couple days, it's teaching the MDI tradition. And it's, how we break down, when we say rah. And it's really, I guess I was explaining to my wife, and she goes, "Gosh, that seems awful tough." And but that's how it's always been done. And there's plenty of opportunity for kids to hydrate. So if you were prepared, um, you probably could have gotten through that yesterday without too much difficulty. There were some that had, as you were with the running commentary, playing a lot of Fortnite this summer and
Yes.
video games and not running. But I mean, this is all cumulative, and you've got to be in shape, especially in 8-man football, very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. Great point. The kids, we told them all summer. I mean, we're gonna be able to tell right off the bat who actually worked
Who's
out
been
this summer.
naughty and who's been nice,
Yeah,
right? I
right.
mean, it's like Santa.
Yep. Yeah. And it didn't take long to figure that out. And you're right. We've been doing this. I took over as a head coach in 2006. And my top assistant at the time was Ian Braun, who played at Bucksport and then coached at other schools, including Old Town, and then eventually came to us. But they used to do these stations. They called it something else, but they did stations back when he played at Bucksport. So he brought that to us, and we've been doing that, whatever, for almost 20 years. And I tell the kids, you're going to survive it. We've been doing this for years. You'll get through it. It's going to be rough for about 20 minutes, this practice. But then after we get through stations, then practice isn't that bad. And the kids finally discover that. And we only do this for the first week and a half, and then we don't do any more stations. And then it's just your typical practice getting ready for each opponent. So,
And to your credit, I mean, there was a period where you did them with them. Not
yeah.
anymore.
No, no. Well, so we've talked about this in years past. My doctor, Chris, okay, you know that I
You have
had
a doctor's note, right? You have a doctor's note.
I had neck surgery, whatever, 4 or 5 years ago, and I used to pound the pavement, and I used to do the stations. But I asked my doctor, and she said, "Well, Mark, because you had one of your, vertebrae collapse, then maybe we shouldn't be doing that." So I was like, "All right, doctor's orders. No more stations for Coach Shields."
And also happy anniversary. Yes, you celebrated your wedding anniversary with your dear wife Sunday, and Monday morning you were on the field on time at 6 o'clock. Or actually
Yeah.
before 6 o'clock.
Yes.
So um the and to the boys' credit, everybody showed up again today, which is day two. You didn't lose anybody, and we have a girl playing this year. And to their and her credit, everybody was back today.
Yep, yep. So Briella McIntyre is a freshman from Lemoyne, and Briella showed up day one of our summer workouts, never missed a practice, and has been here right from the start. Always on time, works hard. She got through the stations with no problems.
Yes,
So
she
credit to
did.
her.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
And so and also to the credit of this year's class, everybody came up wearing their helmet. You had to address that last year about helmets were mandatory in playing a game, and therefore you practice in helmets unless it was 9,000 degrees out.
Yeah, yeah, I do remember last year we had a slight problem. The kids, their helmets were too tight, not tight enough. For whatever reason, no one seemed to have their helmet on, and I do remember saying something like,
I do
"I'm pretty,
remember that. It's still
I,
echoing in my brain.
I think we're gonna need helmets come our first scrimmage. So let's figure this out." So, and they
Right.
did, they
Yeah.
did.
So it's always an adventure. Talk a little bit about this year. How many players do you have coming out, and where are we with that?
Yep. So right now we have 29 players on the roster, and that's good. We want to be right around 30 for 8-man football, and that allows us to have a full varsity team and a full JV team and full schedules for both. Uh, the kids, like we've been saying, they've had really good attitudes. As hard as we've been working them already, we've been pleased with their attitudes. And of course, this time of year, last night was our first defensive night, and so you're going to be shuffling kids in different positions. And I tell them, I said, tonight just go to a position coach that you think you might want to play.
Right.
And then we'll figure it out and we'll help you if you're not sure. Some of the kids have never played football before, so they don't really know. And And I said, we can help you with that. And tonight will be an offensive night. It'll be the same thing. Just go to a position coach that you think you might want to play. So it's a lot of shuffling around. It happens fast. I was telling Elias Byrne, who now is running the offense, basically you have 2 practices to get your playbook in for our first scrimmage on Monday against Bucksport, because he has tonight, and then he'll have Thursday night, and then Friday and Saturday is basically reviewing what you've taught them, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're on the field against Bucksport. So it does happen quickly, even though the kids probably think the week takes forever. As a coach, it doesn't necessarily feel that way.
Well, and as you mentioned, Monday, August 25th, MDI will host a controlled scrimmage against Bucksport. And when we talk controlled scrimmages, I mean, the coaches are actually on the field. So you are coaching the kids up. You're in the huddle with the kids. And it's like what, 10 plays and then a drive, and then the second team comes on, or you may rotate that around. How, I guess explain to us how that officially works.
Yeah, so typically what we've done is you'll have your so-called ones. I don't usually use the term starter because that's so fluid, but you'll have your ones, and they'll go out and they'll have 10 plays against, so say you are on offense first, you'll have your 10 plays against their defense, and we'll start, we usually typically start at like the 20 or the 30-yard line. And then after your 10 plays, they move the ball back to that 20 or 30-yard line, and then you have what's called the drive. And if you
And when you say the 20, so you go 80 yards. So
right,
you're not in the red zone. You're going from
right,
your 20 to go 80 yards.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So if you happen to turn the ball over, you go back to the 20-yard line. If you happen to score and you haven't gotten all your 10 plays in, you'll go back to the 20-yard line. Um, and once you've gotten through your 10 plays, then you have what's called the drive, where as long as you continue to get first downs, you can keep going. But if you get stopped on fourth down, then the other team has their chance to have their 10 plays. So the ones will have 2 sets of that. So you'll have 2 drives on offense, 2 drives on defense. Then your twos typically will have 1 drive on offense, 1 drive on defense, and then your threes the same. That's one of my favorite scrimmages because, for starters, like you said, we're right on the field with the kids, and it's really a great teaching moment. You can stop everything and just say, "Hey, can we line up again against the other team and talk about what just happened?" And the other coaches are great to work with because they're
Right.
trying to teach their kids too. And so it's with us being out there, it's almost like you're a player, but I'm not going to try to tackle anybody because I'll get hurt. But you can really see
You're
what's
not going to
going
Mike
on.
Vrabel it. You're not going to dive in and
I
doctor's
got
notes.
I
Doctor's note. I understand.
I'll tell you what, about 10 years ago, we're up to Stearns for this controlled scrimmage, and I thought I was away from the play. Well, I had turned my back on the Stearns running back, who I thought we had tackled, but we hadn't. And next thing you know, he's running me over and put me on.
Walter Churchill, God,
Yeah,
God love it, right?
yeah, that's right. So anyhow, this is a great one to really get the kids. It's the first time that they've had any contact against another team, and it gets them, gets them that feel of a football game, um,
It's
and then you
nice to
start.
hit somebody besides your own team at
Yeah,
that point.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, so we learn a lot from that, and then um, we'll do 2 days next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the mornings will be done, and then they start school on Thursday of next week, and then we'll be back to our typical 3 to 5:30 practice time.
Well, and then Friday, August 29th, you have an exhibition game up at Stearns at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. So once again, a quick turnaround, right? So we play Monday, we'll come back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and next thing you know, we're back on the field against Stearns. So yeah, it's really fast.
And then the schedule, I unfortunately will not be up at Holton for the first game. Friday, September 5th at Holton at 7 o'clock. But then MDI will host Lake Region. Darn, I wish I could go to Lake Region again. I mean, it seems like we've been there every year. But
We have.
Yeah, I know, right? So we maybe will escape a trip to Naples. Um, Friday, September 12th, that'll be MDI's first game against Lake Region at 7 o'clock. So it just, and it goes fast and furious. I mean, right through the last regular season game is Friday, October 17th. So I mean, it is fast, and it's quick turnarounds, and yeah, and it's cumulative. Everything's a building block onto day one practice to day two to day three, day four.
Yep, yep, absolutely, Chris.
What you're going to have a new quarterback this year. And I mean, you lost a great class last year. Um, but all positions are open right now. So, I
Yep.
mean, if you're a player, it's now's the time to prove it. And there's still time. I know that we were talking that the MDI boys soccer team has supposedly a lot of students that are trying out, and maybe some one or two or three or four might wander over to the football field.
Yeah, hey, we welcome them with open arms for sure. So, yeah, the great thing about football is there are no cuts, and we welcome anybody to come and play. And obviously, the better numbers we have, the better chance of success for us. So, absolutely.
Yeah, and MDI coming off great playoff run, and not too far removed from the 8-man state championship. So we'll see what 2025 brings. So this is what, your 19th year?
So,
20? I mean, well, you took a little time off, but
yeah, so this is my 30th year at the high school. I was hired in 96,
yeah.
and I was an assistant for 7 years under Toogie McKay, and then I became the head coach in 2006, I guess. Um, no, sorry, 2003 is when I took
Yeah.
over as a head coach. I guess 2006, that was the first year we made the playoffs, and that was the first year with you, if I remember correctly.
I want to say this is like my 19th year of MDI football and 20th year of basketball. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I was driving down yesterday and I was thinking, gosh, how many miles have I put on my car, and how many games have I done? And it's a lot, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. What's interesting, I was looking at your pics from practice yesterday with my wife when I got home late last night,
They
and
were
she and I
very
looked.
selective. I
Yeah.
would not take pictures of anyone who was feeling the impact of the morning session.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was one of me and my wife, and I looked at one another like, who's that old guy out there? Oh man. I mean, when I was hired, I was 23 years old, and Toogie McKay was about my age, and I remember thinking, well, he's kind of old. And
Right.
I'm like, oh, wait a second. That's me now. So
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, it's a toll, and I mean, you and the coaching staff. I mean, so you guys. I mean, on a typical week, um, the games are played Friday. You're breaking down film on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. It pretty much takes up most of my weekend. I mean, I try to set aside some time. When it really gets difficult is when we have that Saturday game,
Right.
and basically you have to be ready to go come, Monday, obviously by 3 o'clock when you have practice. So I try to have, as a defensive coordinator, it's a lot of time breaking down tape and getting their plays scripted and their tendencies. And I want to have my game plan set because I'm going to meet with my varsity kids at 3 o'clock Monday afternoon.
Right. And I mean, so not only do you have to watch the opposing team's game film, but you have to watch your game film so you know what went right and what went wrong,
Right,
and what
right.
and what you need to work on.
Yeah. So, right. You break down your own tape first and learn from that, and then kind of put that to bed. And then now you're going to start breaking down tape on your next opponent. And then when you meet with your players on Monday, you'll go over your own tape because it's a great learning opportunity. And then you'll eventually go over the new tape with the new team with your kids. So,
with the huddle game films, that makes it a lot easier, hasn't it? Made it easier to break things down, and so that way the kids can actually watch it, as opposed to, oh gosh, someone standing up and filming it and then loading it. And I mean, this is just much easier.
Oh yeah, when I first took over back in the day, there was nothing online, right?
Right.
Everything was I would have to talk to my next opponent, that coach, schedule a time to go meet with that coach sometime in the weekend to exchange tape, like physically give them the
Yeah.
VHS tape, and
Right.
then they would give me two tapes. Then you'd have to, I mean, it might be a 2 hour ride just to meet that coach. Then you
Oh, yeah.
drive
Oh,
back.
yeah.
So now we have a game, and I can go home after the game and start breaking down my own tape. And then your next opponent, they're uploading their film, we're uploading our film. It's so much better. Plus, and like you said, Huddle will give you tendencies, of your opponents and that sort of thing. But it's all digital now, which makes it so much easier.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean, it's amazing the differences in technology. I mean, so all right. Well, I know the pep band is working hard. They've started under Mr. Matthew Mayo. They started last night as well, and we look forward. My goal is to be down there next Monday to take some photos of the controlled scrimmage against Bucksport. And well, one of the things that everybody should be circling on their calendar is Friday, October 3rd, because with the realignment in eight-man football, MDI will be playing at Ellsworth this year, Friday, October 3rd at 7 o'clock, and that ought to be fantastic.
Yeah, it's exciting that they're back with us now in large school, and it's nice that we're playing them. I mean, here we are traveling all the way to Bridgeton, Maine to play Lake Region, and we're passing by a school that's 20 minutes down the road and a rival of our school. So it's great.
All right. Coach, best of luck. I know you need to go home and take a nap now.
Yeah, it's probably true.
Right. And you'll be back on the field tonight at what time? 4?
4:30 to
4:30.
6:45 tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, have a great time. I appreciate again you taking the time so we could do the coaches show. And again, it's brought to us by Allen Insurance and Financial, and they've been great sponsors of this show forever. So, Coach, good week, and we'll see you on the field next week. And we'll be doing this every week now through hopefully November.
Awesome. Thanks so
All
much,
right.
Chris.
Thanks.